Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. How about this? Before 8 o'clock. I am a little tired though. Woo! What a weekend. What a weekend. Cubs Convention 2026 is a wrap. How do I feel this morning? A little tired. It's very cold outside, but it's nice and warm. It's toasty in here. But when I took Ernie out this morning, it's like, whew, whew. It's negative something, I know. Which is surprising that we had decent weather in Chicago. I came home to like a foot of snow here in Madison. But usually this is the weekend that we get like a foot of snow, or it's like 30 below zero wind chills, which is we are now experiencing. We have a cold advisory in effect. But it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning when I was loading up, I'm like, oh, it's cold. It's cold. But it was, I didn't leave the hotel on Saturday or Friday, but Thursday it was pleasant. Thursday. So I'm going to talk about Cubs Convention. Will I do it again? Was it worth it? That was the big question going in to Cubs Convention, because it was a complete 180 over what I've previously done over the past 10 Cubs conventions that I've gone to. Completely foreign to me. And would I like that change? Would I like to turn something that I enjoy and love, and it's a hobby, to now it's a business? How would that go? And I'll let you know. I think we've got a lot to catch up on, right? Because I wasn't live Friday, Saturday, Sunday, being at Cubs Convention. I don't think I went live on Thursday. No, I didn't, because that was my travel day. Did I even go live on Wednesday? Okay, so let's rewind. So Wednesday was like very hectic. I had a little bit because I did the Tuesday night auction. That was the Tall Boys. So I wanted to get all of that shipped out, which took me less than an hour, I think. Probably not even 30 minutes. Because that was only like 70 auctions, and with some multi orders within that live sale, took me no time at all. So got that done quickly. I had to make my typical errands runs. Picked up a couple blaster boxes to rip on Thursday at the convention. Just your snacks and water. I had to get a case of water. I did drink a case. I went through a case of water. At Cubs Convention. And so I did that. Went to the card shop because I wanted to get some new inventory. I think everything that I bought specifically for Cubs Convention, I think I sold. The Kevin Alcantara I didn't sell. I picked up a Sammy Sosa auto. I picked up two. I picked up a 101. I'm keeping that. And then I picked a numbered out of 15. Sold the numbered to 15 Sosa auto. Where did I buy the Jackson Wiggins and Matt Shaw? Did I buy that at Bonsai too? No, I bought those at Dudes in Fort Atkinson a couple of weeks ago. But I sold, I think I bought 4 of those, and I think 3 of the 4 sold. What else? Oh, I picked up a really nice Shota Imanaga patch auto that I was kind of upset to sell. But it's like, what the hell? I made good money on it because I overpriced it. I priced stuff. I had museum prices, and I still sold. I had to refill my showcase like 2 times. So that was good. But I picked up some stuff specifically for the Cubs Convention. So Wednesday I went to Bonsai, and I gave myself, because I didn't want to spend all afternoon there like I usually do. Sorry, Brad. But I probably spent, well, I spent 3 times more than I usually do. And I spent about half the time that I usually do. I did some work. I bought a lot of stuff out of the showcases. I gave myself an hour, I think an hour to an hour and a half to dig through the dollar boxes. So I wanted to tackle the football dollar boxes for Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams. And then all of a sudden I'm finding like Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, well, Bears are playing Sunday night. I'm at Cubs convention. There's a lot of Bears fans. Maybe I should be picking up some Bears stuff. Although throughout the weekend, I didn't have that many. I had a few, but I honestly didn't have that many. There was a lot, especially on Sunday, a lot of Bears shirts on Sunday, but I didn't have too many people requesting Bears stuff. I think I had a couple Caleb requests. I can't remember if somebody asked me if I had a Peyton rookie or not. Somebody might have asked me if I had a Peyton rookie. I can't remember. But I had a few requests. I think I did sell through like all of my Bears stuff that I had. I had like stuff that I was pulling out of the dollar box. I was pricing at $5 or $10, and I think it all sold. I might have I haven't gone through my boxes, but I'm pretty sure everything sold. Like I know I had like some of I think all the $5 stuff sold. I know I sold some of the Colston Loveland rookies at $10 yesterday. There might be a couple stragglers, but I think all my Bears stuff sold. I didn't take that many, maybe 10 to 20 cards. So I was looking for that on Wednesday at Bonsai. And then, of course, I wanted to go through some baseball boxes for Cubs stuff, just for like, rookies, PCA stuff. And I found found a little bit. And then I still have a stack. I mean, this is about a fifth, maybe a 10th of what else. Here's another stack. That's all I went heavy on football, which now it's like, oh, crap. Because some of these... Well, Pukas, there's some Staffords, there's some Pukas in there, so those will be hot. So I think I'm going to do a stream tonight. Actually, I know I'm going to do a stream tonight because I don't have much shipping to do. I do have Madison Card Show stuff to prepare for. This Saturday is the Madison Card Show at the Alliant Energy Center. This Saturday, 250 tables, sold out show. Admission is $5. Parking, you have to pay to park this month, $10. I can't even offer to pay your parking this month because there's another event that is charging, and it's basically whoever books the venue first, whoever had that contract in first, gets to determine whether they charge for parking or if the promoter has to pay for the parking on the back end based on head count. So when there's free parking, it ain't free. It's just the person running the event is paying it for you. And unfortunately, they can't break that up on when there's multiple events going, and there usually is. But I did put a request in. I'm like, if I'm the first to book any of the shows the rest of the year, I'll just pay for parking on the back end. So that's how it goes. And I think December, when I paid for parking, I think there was more, and hopefully, after a couple of events, I can kind of see, okay, did the free parking make up for the admission side? Because I'm paying a discounted parking rate, but I'm also paying on a head count. So I don't charge kids admission, but I have to pay for kids on the head count for parking. So it's basically ends up being a wash. So so that was Wednesday. And so Wednesday, earlier in the week, I had somebody reach out and they're like, hey, are you going to have any Bowman draft with you at the convention? And I said, oh, crap, I forgot Bowman draft comes out this week. So I'm like, probably not. It comes out Wednesday. I'm leaving Thursday. So there's like a slim margin of time that I can actually acquire some. And how do I acquire it without spending $800 for a hobby box? I briefly considered buying a box to rip on Thursday night. And then I'm like, no, F that. So I reached out to my buddy Tom. Tom owns Real Breaks up in Waupun. And I reach out to Tom and I'm like, hey, I know you're probably ripping Bowman Draft on Wednesday. If you're breaking Wednesday night or Wednesday sometime, and I'm able to land a spot, would I be able to pick it up first thing? Would I be able to pick up my stuff first thing Thursday morning? And he's like, yes, yes, and yes. I'm like, awesome. So now the problem is Real Break sells their spots super fast. So I'm like, set an alarm to when it goes live. And they had two breaks set to go on Wednesday. And the first break, I get in, I get the Cub spot, and then I go down, I get the paper spot. Somebody already grabbed the paper spot. I'm like, fuck. So I got the Cub spot for the first break. 5 minutes later, they release the second break. This time I'm like, screw the Cubs. I'm going straight for the paper spot. So get the paper spot. So I was able to get one paper spot, one Cub spot. Ended up with, I think, 11 paper. So Kane Kepley was drafted last year, and he was at Cubs convention. And I don't know. And I can tell you for certainty in the last 10 years, 10 conventions, 12 years, 10 conventions that I've been going to, stupid COVID, that I've been going to, there's never been a prospect without any cards until now, Kane Kepley. Now, he did have cards, but there were 2 days between the card release and him appearing at Cubs convention. So I knew that, hey, Dan, I'm wearing your shirt. So I knew that that would be a hot commodity. And this is one thing that there's a lot of things, and I need to take some notes for next year. Did I leave some? Oh, I could have used those Cubs for Kids packs that are sitting up there. Just caught it out of the corner of my eye. So I knew it was going to be a hot commodity. And I know if this happens again next year, if somebody gets drafted in 2026 and they're in Bowman Draft and it comes out the week of the show, I need to effort harder to get more of those cards. I could have sold 1,000 Kane Kepley cards this weekend, but I had 15. And they were sold like literally. Doors open at like 11:45 on Friday morning for our vendor alley. And I bet by noon, all of my Kane Kepleys had sold. So I think if this happens again next year and I'm set up as a vendor and a player appears at Cubs convention that doesn't have any cards that pops up in Bowman Draft and it's released the same week, I will make sure to find a way to get more, because I could have sold through. And the funny thing is, who are the most in-demand cards? Who are people buying at Cubs convention? This is fun because Cubs convention is not a card show. In fact, I was the only, the Knoxville Smokies had some cards. They have a card shop on site. They have a card shop in like their gift shop. And then they also have a brick and mortar shop, like attached to their stadium, but it's open like a regular card shop. So they had some cards. But that was it. 10,000 people at Cubs convention, and not that many, not that much selection for cards. So it's basically a monopoly. I was like PSA. I was like PSA at the Cubs convention when it came to cards. Call the FTC. So the most in demand, Kane Kepley, number one. All right, the hot list. We'll do a top 5. The hot list. The top 5 most requested cards at Cubs convention. Number 1, Kane Kepley. Number 2, Gavin Hollowell. Number 3, Riley Martin. Number 4, Dave Otto. Number 5, Mike Remlinger. Those were the top requested because there's not too many cards. In fact, Dave Otto doesn't have a Cubs card. Mike Remlinger only has like 8 Cubs cards. And they're in like that dead zone of collecting in the early to mid 2000s. So those were the hot commodity. Gavin Hollowell like has some minor league team set cards, which is something I may, even though the other some of the booths were selling, like some of the minor league affiliates were selling like the team set cards. But that's something I might, when they put them on sale, like last year's. John has heard of none of those players. That's kind of my point. Those were the most requested players. It's kind of refreshing. So I may go and just, if I do this again next year, buy a ton of team sets just to have Riley Martin, Gavin Hollowell, like those types of players. Who knows if they'll be there next year? Who knows if there's going to be a Cubs convention next year? If there's a lockout, we won't have to worry. Actually, if they're minor, if they're not on the 40-man, if they're not a part of the players, because they're still minor league. If there's a baseball lockout, there's still minor league baseball. So anybody not on like the 40-man roster, part of the Players Association, they can still appear at the Cubs convention. Retired players can still be at the Cubs convention. I'm sure if there's a lockout, there will still. And I think somebody mentioned this in the comments because, I didn't start going to Cubs convention until 2015. So I missed, and the lockout a few years ago happened. Were we in a lockout a couple of years ago? Oh, there might not have been a Cubs convention that year. But that was also during coming out of COVID, I think. Was it going into the 2022? I think it was. Because there was no Cup, because 2020 was before the pandemic, because Cubs convention is in January. COVID didn't really hit till March. So there was Cubs convention 2020. 2021, there was no Cubs convention because we were in the middle of COVID. And then 2022, I think just because of how long it takes to plan, and maybe also the uncertainty of a lockout, there was no Cubs convention. So I guess that's the most recent example. But previously, I think during the strike, was it 95? Because the strike happened like in midway through the season, I think, 94, correct? So I think they were still locked out in January of 95. There was a convention, but there were no active players. It was all retired guys. So if there is a lockout in January 2027, maybe there's not a convention. Maybe there's not there definitely wouldn't be current players. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. So yeah, and that's something that, there were some takeaways setting up a booth. If I do this again, I need to work harder on like Dave Otto, Ron Coomer, Mike Remlinger, like some of those guys, although they don't release a list of who's attending until like Thursday before, or was it Thursday? It might have been no, it was Monday. It was last Monday. They released the list. Now, Dave Otto is going to be there. Ron Coomer is going to be there because they're on the announcing team. Bobby Dernier is always at Cubs convention. Now, there's certainly no lack of Bobby Dernier cards in my 1 million Cubs collection. I can find plenty of Bobby Dernier. I don't know if Sean Dunston. Sean Dunston might have been there, but I had plenty of Sean Dunston. Aramis Ramirez. Jose Cardinal. I don't think I sold all my Jose Cardinal cards, which is really surprising because I thought Jose Cardinal would be the first one to go in terms of, that sounds morbid, first one to go in terms of sales. And because I didn't have that many, and I'm like, well, he's a Cubs Hall of Famer, and he's in the Cubs Hall of Fame, not the actual Hall of Fame, separate things. So I thought he would be a hot commodity. And I probably sold all of his Cubs cards. The cards I didn't sell are probably like his Phillies cards. But I had a few left of those. Tim Stoddard's always there. I think and I was able to find plenty of Tim Stoddard. Dave Otto, I sold through all my Dave Otto. I sold all through my Mike Remlinger. Mike Remlinger was a guy that I was pulling because I'm pretty sure he lives in the area, and he's been to a lot of Cubs events. He would come to Club 400 just to hang out. So that's something that, I wish there was a way. I just see Cooter's comment. Printed labels for your box is a must next year. You're in the big leagues now. Your handwriting is not. That's true. And I thought about that. As I'm writing down, I'm like, this does not look professional. But I spent, the time that I spent preparing my booth for CubsCon, insane. Now, was it worth it? Abso-freaking-lutely. There you go. I will definitely, if the Cubs allow me back, I am in. I will definitely do this again. It was awesome, and I loved it. This is a complete 180 from what I've done the last 10 conventions. That was my biggest concern. My biggest concern was, how am I going to handle it? Because I'm basically going from a fan to like a bit like literally. It's not just like, it's literally, I'm going from being a fan at the convention to being on the other side of the table and running a business. And I loved every second of it. And I wasn't even tired. Like, I had so much energy. I was feeding off the crowd. I got down there. I actually went to my buddy Justin's. He showed me the rabbit hole. Justin from Rabbit Hole Auctions. So he helped. He was a huge help. My buddy Bronco, Baseball Card Illustrated. I don't know if he's in the chat. Baseball Card Illustrated Bronco helped me on Saturday from open to close. Tremendous help. I cannot thank those guys enough. That was one thing. I was just going to handle my booth by myself. What was I thinking? There's no way in hell. No way in hell. I mean, there were points on Saturday where all three of us were handling transactions. It was chaos. So there's no way in hell that I would, maybe like the first hour I could handle it on Friday. A little overwhelming, when doors open, but no. So that's definitely, and thank God Bronco reached out to me, because I think I talked about it here on Hobby Evolution, and Bronco texted me and he's like, "Hey, I'm willing to help." And I'm like, "Oh my God, totally." And Justin's like, "Yeah." So tremendous help. So I stopped at, so we hung out, looked at cards, showed me his collection, amazing collection. Had some pizza, had Barnaby's, great pizza. And then he hung out. We drove down Thursday to the Sheraton where the convention is. Hung out in the lobby. Opened some cards. Opened some packs. Ethan Roberts and his wife came over. Opened some packs. They played Uno with some of the kids. So we had a good time Thursday night. And then Friday, I started my setup at 6:45 a.m. on Friday morning, and I didn't leave my booth until 9 p.m., 14 plus hours at my booth. And I wasn't even tired. Went to Shula's Steakhouse for a late dinner. I was eating, as the day went on, I'm eating protein bars and beef sticks throughout the day. And I'm like, got into the evening, and I'm like, I'm hungry. I don't want a pizza. Like, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to have a nice meal at Shula's. And had salmon, which was great. Had salmon. Did have a couple beers, but I avoided the chaos in the lobby. I wasn't, because I knew I'd get sucked in. I'd have a few more beers. And so I just had a nice meal and went up to my room. Did it all again. I was able to sleep in a little bit on Saturday morning. Got down there at 8. So I was at my booth from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then 8 a.m. to little after noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock on Sunday, clearing out. So a long weekend, but I'm not tired. Like, I'm not tired. I'm not physically tired. I'm not mentally tired. I'm like, let's go. It's Monday. Let's get some stuff shipped out. Let's tackle the day. I've got some Madison Card Show stuff to prepare for. I've got plenty of inventory from Wednesday. I also bought a whole bunch of slabs from Dub Mentality on Twitter. He was doing like a Twitter sale last week, and like he had great prices on stuff. And I slipped into his DMs, and I'm like, hey, what do you got left? I'll buy it all. And so he gave me a list. He's like, how about this? And I'm like, done. Like, deal. Shoot me your PayPal. And it was waiting for me when I got home. Super fast shipping, awesome stuff. So I can't even remember. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Martin Luther King Day. So no mail today. So I won't go to the post office, but I will ship today. I just won't take it to the post office. I'll package it up today. I call it shipping. I call packaging up shipping. I just won't take it to the post office because the post office is closed. So I got that stuff in, picked up a bunch of stuff at Bonsai on Wednesday. I'm still waiting on a couple packages. I still got to have a Kyle Tucker auto that I bought for Cubs convention. Still hasn't arrived. I bought a ton of like cheap one-of-ones that I was hoping to get by before Thursday. Still hasn't arrived. But a lot of it was prospect stuff that I can hold back for next year. I bought some player lots that didn't come in time. Like Ryan Rollison was another guy that was highly sought after. I only had a few cards of him, and I pulled 2 of his cards in a Topps Chrome blaster box. I pulled a couple X-Fractor rookies, put them in the $3 box, and they both sold like before 9 a.m. Like I think they opened up the vendor alley at like 8:45 Saturday. I think my Ryan Rollison sold at 8:46. So and when I go to spring training, I'll get some autos. Somebody gave me a great idea. Actually, it was my buddy Brian. Brian handles autographs for a bunch of players: Ray Burris, Jose Cardinal, John Lieber, Miggy Montero. So he does a lot of handles their mail and handles like private signings and stuff. And there's a bunch of other guys that he handles stuff for. So he's like, you're giving all these cards away to kids. He's like, I can line up some of these guys that I do signings with, and we can and if you want to stick them in, like randomly stick them in some of these packs, and then they pull autographs. And yeah, it's not going to be like a first Bowman Chrome auto or anything like that. But hey, I mean, just getting base cards, the kids loved it. I cannot believe, and I think it's because nothing is free at Cubs convention. Nothing is, I mean, yeah, you could get some stuff, but it's not like there's so many people there that it's not like people can just hand out, thousands of items. So I went in, I made up, I made up 1,000 Cubs for Kids packs. And I'm like, as it got closer to the convention, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be enough. I was able to get 1,000 made up before Thursday. And I bought like 3,000 blue bags. I bought, I don't know how many, I bought like 10,000 business cards. I bought, case of team bags. So, 100,000 team bags. So I had plenty of stuff like for overflow. And obviously I have plenty of overflow Cubs cards. So I took a 4-row box of extras, and I went through that. I was making up. We ran out. Took 1,000. We ran out by like 1 o'clock on Saturday. Now, did some kids get a second maybe a third free pack, probably. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, there's 10,000 people there. There's more than 1,000 kids. It's, there's a lot of kids at Cubs convention. So, that's something that I might start making Cubs for Kids packs now, just so I'm not, because I spent a lot of time on that. And, just curating the 10 card because I want it to be a nice mix. I don't want here's the great thing. I'm putting up by Sunday, the packs I'm making on the fly, it's getting, because I was starting to just grab Cubs cards. It's like, all right, hopefully kids appreciate Hector Villanueva. So I had I was mixing in, and I had Dansby and PCA and some others. But I also had Hector Villanueva and Eric Yelding. And I had there was one pack where Hector Villanueva was on the I ran out of the blue bags. I didn't bring enough extra blue bags with me. So now they're just in team bags. So here's your Cubs for Kids. And the first card that this kid, he's probably 5 years old. It's Hector Villanueva. And he's like, I don't even know who this player is. And so his dad's like, shut up, it's free. And opens the pack. And guess what the top card is? It's a fucking Pete Crow Armstrong rookie card. Then the kid was happy. So you got to balance it out. PCA, you get a Hector Villanueva too. But there were 10 cards per pack until the end. It's like, okay, this pack might only have 5. This has 7. This has 8. So I didn't want to do, I didn't want to completely randomize it because, there's brothers and sisters. If this kid gets 10 cards and this kid only gets 5 or 6, it's like, so I wanted it to be balanced. I wanted it to be balanced with players kids know. Dansby, PCA, Justin Steele, those guys. And then, there's some Hector Villanuevas too. So I may just start if I have some free time, maybe if I'm watching something, if I hanging out on the couch watching Netflix, I'll just make some random Cubs for Kids packs for next year. So, what else? By the way, it was a huge success, both in enjoyment and financially. My booth was paid off on Friday, which I was shocked. I didn't think I would pay my booth off over the weekend. I didn't think I would make what I spent on the booth. Plus, I paid $225 in parking. I don't even know what the tolls were. I just automatically, they sucked more money out of I got an email this morning. We automatically deposited more into your iPass account. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of tolls this weekend. The hotel, the Cubs, I was buying Cubs cards. Some of the cards that I sold, I bought, I was marking everything up, obviously. But the booth was paid off on Friday. And then, so I made money. I made money. So it was a financial success. The biggest, but that wasn't a concern. I just wanted a presence. This is a great way. I brought some of my own PC. And if somebody and I had some tobacco cards in my showcase, I had a T202, the trifold, Frank Chance and Johnny Evers. And so that was a bit people were like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, you want to see? So I brought out, my Frank Chance and Three Fingers Brown and my Jimmy Ryan Ginter. So when people were really interested in that stuff, I was able to here, this is from I even showed it when I was having dinner at the steakhouse on Saturday night. There was a guy next to me talking about, growing up, and guess what? His mom threw his cards away. Have you heard that story before? Shocker. So I was showing him some of those old cards. So that's fun. I was able to share my collection. I was able to sell cards, make money. And then I was able to have a presence of, my eBay live streaming, just my collection. And then of course, giving cards away to kids, and the parents were like, are these really free? Yeah. Nothing's free here. It's yeah. That was probably, from a booth standpoint, the biggest win was free Cubs for Kids. That was by far the biggest win that I did at my booth. So we'll run it back in my Cubs rep that I worked with for the convention, she checked in on Saturday. She wanted to know how the streams went. And I'm like, internet was great. Streams, not so great, but the internet didn't tell her that. But I'm like, yeah, everything went well. And she's like, well, for next year. And I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. She's like, for next year, we can send push notifications through the app. There's a Cubs convention app. And that way people can watch your streams while they're waiting in line. I'm like, and she's like, and we also have like TVs that I'm like, yes. So, I said, I am definitely interested in coming back. Obviously planning has not begun yet, but I'm interested. So there you go. Was it worth it? Yes. Do I want to set up next year? Abso-freaking-lutely. And we'll try to give and we'll do, not only will we do free Cubs for Kids, I'll go out to spring training and, I get multiple autographs, hundreds of autographs, and I'll slip those into the free packs. And there's randomly inserted autographs. I'm sure my buddy Ethan will help me out. Hey, we're going to send, can you sign 10 or 20 cards? We'll randomly insert these into the Cubs for Kids packs. So that's a plan for next year. And I did when I started making up, like I had a Corey Patterson auto that was probably in a $1 box. I'm like, you know what? Like, so I slipped a Corey Patterson autograph in there. So it was a huge success. Definitely want to do it again. My biggest concern was, is it going to be worth it for me going from fan to business? And it was. Like, I think I had more fun. I know I had more fun. I had more fun standing at a booth for 14 hours every day. 14 hours, 12 hours, and 4 hours. But I had more fun than hanging out in the lobby, standing in line, waiting for autographs of players that I already have. Getting drunk and being hungover every morning. That was, like, put that in the rear view. This was so much more worth it. I mean, just sharing the hobby was so much fun with people that are like, people brought cards to my booth. I bought 5 or 6 cards off people that walked up, overpaid for some, but that's okay. I don't look at comps. It's like, what am I willing to pay for this? Like, the funny thing, the funniest transaction, guy walks up, has some like newer autos, has a couple Matt Shaw patch autos. And I'm like, I do 125. And he's like, can you do 140? And I'm like, that's $70 an auto. I'm like, all right, I'll do 140. So there's a hustler kid next to the guy. So we do the deal, pay 140 for these 2 Matt Shaw autos, stick them to the side. And the kid that just watched that transaction go down, he's like, hey, I'll buy those 2 Matt Shaws from you. And I'm like, you know what I paid. He's like, I'll give you 150. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that for $10. I'm like, I want them. I'm like, I'll do 160, like $20. I'll flip them for a fast $20. And he's like, well, let me think about it. So he ended up passing on it. He looked up comps later and they're like, I paid 70 a card. I think they're like 40 or 50 a card. So, oh, well, I don't care. Hopefully he has a great season and they go up and they're worth 70 next year. I don't know. So I bought, most of what I bought was like modern. I bought those 2. I bought a Miguel Amaya auto out of 25. I bought a Christian Hernandez, who's no longer with the Cubs, but I've got a ton of Christian Hernandez autos. It's numbered to 20. It's a really cool card. It's like Bowman Sterling. What else did I buy? I bought a couple other cards. Can't remember. But people were showing off. One kid had a binder, like this big old ass binder. And I should have asked how he curated his album, because it was in no particular order. And I'm flipping through and it's commons. And then there's an Aaron Judge rookie card. And I'm like, oh, wow. So it was fun, like, going through, because it's like, I don't know what's the next page I'm going to turn. Like, there's an Aaron Judge rookie. There's an Ohtani rookie, like in this fat binder. So So that was fun. So I definitely want to come back and do it again next year because I had fun. I had fun, made money, had fun, gave back to the hobby, gave back to the kids, and hopefully we get a bunch of new collectors out of it. Let's go to the chat. So this week, Madison Card Show prep, Saturday, Alliant Energy Center, 250 tables sold out, $5 admission, $10 to park. So will be fun. I'll be buying more this weekend at Madison. eBay Live tonight. I'll go live probably at 7 tonight. And I've got to get my schedule for the rest of the week put together. But I'll probably go live most nights this week. Because I didn't go live. Oh, that's the one thing. What's up, Cooter? The one downside to this weekend was my eBay live streams. Friday was an absolute disaster because I couldn't figure out the OBS settings and it was shitty. So I did a dozen auctions maybe. Saturday I'm like, I got to try this again. I was talking back and forth with my eBay reps, and I was able to figure out some of the settings and made it better than Friday. And we did a full stream. I did, I think, 40 auctions. I wanted to go about an hour. I didn't want to go 2 hours. But it was better. It still wasn't, it wasn't studio quality by any means. So that's something that, I do plan on live streaming again. But I've got to get it figured out, like how, the camera quality, like I bought a brand new camera specifically for live streaming. And the camera I don't think the camera was good. The OBS, I don't know, fucking OBS. I don't know, but I'm not going to use OBS for a while. Going to give me nightmares. But we're back. We're back at home. We're on home turf. Home games again on eBay Live tonight, 7 o'clock. Red Light says, what the fuck before 8? I know, right? I woke up Ernie. Well, Ernie kind of woke me up this morning. And it's 7. I'm like, I'm taking Ernie out. Do I go back to bed? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to start my day. And then the cold air hit me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going back to bed now. This cold air woke me up. And it is cold as fuck outside. Mark says, good morning. Looks like a fun time. Justin seemed to enjoy as well. Picked up a massive collection yesterday. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Zach, what's going on? Have you thought of doing a Pokemon only table at Cubs convention? No, but I bet Pokemon would be a hot seller. Although I did not have any Pokemon requests. Surprisingly, I didn't have any Pokemon requests. Boom Slang's in the house. What's going on? Red Light says, what a game last night. Great game. Better than I expected. I was not confident in that matchup against the Rams. I thought the Rams were going to win by 2 touchdowns. So to push it to overtime, and there's a lot of what ifs. And I think from a Bears standpoint, that was a total team loss. There were some bad play calls, like questionable, like from me being a couch potato, a couch people. Watching from afar with no football coaching history. It's like, I don't know. Caleb made some poor decisions. DJ Moore gave up at a crucial point in the game. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, there were some miscues by a little Roma Dunze can't catch a freaking ball. So yeah, there were some, I think there's a little bit of blame goes on everybody for the Bears. It was certainly a team loss last night. Gem City says, good morning. Good run, Bears. I don't like the Rams. I guess I'm a Seahawks fan for the playoffs now. So I'm a Rams fan. No, I'm not a Rams fan. I'm rooting for the Rams. I used to be a Rams fan when they were in St. Louis and they would train in Macomb. I was a diehard Ram. I was probably a bigger Rams fan than I was a Bears fan from like 96 to early 2000s. So I'm going to root for the Rams over the Seahawks, Who do we got in the AFC? Patriots and Broncos without Bo Nix. What a shitty that is. So basically, Patriots are going to skip on into the Super Bowl. So we're going to have Patriots, and I think the Rams are going to beat the. And I think I think I might have predicted at the beginning of the playoffs. I think I initially said Rams Patriots, and then I changed it to Bills. I think Rams Bills. So we'll see. They still got to get there. They still get Rams Seahawks in Seattle. That'll be tough, but I think the Rams can beat them. We got the national championship game last night. Hoosiers, let's go. IU, my buddy Justin, he's in Miami right now. He's a IU alum, and I don't know if he's going to the game, but he's down there. Zach says, how much money did you profit on parking at Cubs Convention? I lost $225. Whew. 3 nights of parking, $225. GC Baseball Cards, good morning. But you know what? Sheena, what's going on? But I will tell you, I think the $225 was worth it. Over lugging all my shit, driving an hour and 15 minutes to Harvard, Illinois, getting on the Metra, getting off, hailing down an Uber or a taxi, which is actually probably the easiest part because they're like freaking moths in a light bulb. And then lugging it into the hotel, getting it to the. So it actually was driving in was like super easy. That was one thing I was worried about. I'm like, fuck, driving in downtown Chicago. Like last time I drove downtown Chicago, it's been almost 5 years. Well, maybe 3, maybe almost 4. It's been 3 or 4 years since I've actually driven in downtown Chicago. Meeting Marcus Stroman when I sold him some stuff at his place at the Waldorf Astoria. That's the last time that I drove downtown. So I didn't know what to expect. But it was actually pretty easy. Getting into the parking garage, pretty damn easy. Dan's in the house. What's going on? Tiger727. Hello. What's up? Good morning. All is well. Dan says a few douches in the comments of the Fanatics post. Tops retweet. Yeah, that was a surprise. Somebody sent me. I think Justin sent me shot me a text with Fanatics ran back the Goodwill pallet find on their socials. So that was a nice little boot. Got a bunch of new followers on Instagram out of it. So that was nice. I love reading the post. I love reading the comments. John says, welcome to the draft. Why would anyone read comments in a Tops Fanatics tweet? It's a sewer. It is a sewer, but it is. I do enjoy it. It's like, that's a lie. That was planted. That guy's lying. Like, well, he's not. Congrats to Kyle Tucker. Dude should be a fugitive from the law. He got top 10 money, my man. That's top 10 money, Kyle Tucker. Because it was a post about Bo. Mark says, Junk Wax sent you a shout out for giving away Cubs cards. Pretty cool. Oh, very nice. Zach says, I always felt that unsung and unproven players in today's hobby don't get enough cards. The dime boxes I waste time in, according to Keating, are filled with dudes that never make a team. Yeah. My storage unit is also filled with players that didn't make teams. So is mine. Zach says, once Bo hit 1 million, I turned off my Google alerts on Bo. I moved them all to a realtor named Amy from Dane County. Billy Hatcher. Riley from QU. I've heard of none of those players. It is cold outside. Hello, John. Undrafted player. What's going on? I do not know those 5 players. Who are your favorite players during the 2000s and 2010s? Oh, man. Well, 2010s, Javi Baez, definitely. 2000s, you got Sammy Sosa. Probably Sammy and Javi, I would say. My favorite players from the 2010s, Javi Baez. 2000s, Sammy Sosa. 90s? Trying to think, man, 90s. I don't know, that stuff. Like, I didn't really have, like, Jerome Walton. I don't know. I didn't have too many I was never like I'm a team first guy. Like I've always been a team collector. Hobby Bias has probably been the only like player that I've collected. I mean, to that extent. Like Ethan, collect his stuff. I collect rainbows and stuff of players. If I get like a super or like Adon Sanchez, I was collecting his stuff. He's no longer with the team, unfortunately. Cooter says printed labels for your box is a must for next year. You're in the big leagues now. Your handwriting is not, right? Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Red Light says hi to Philly Joe. Chewy's Cards is here. I should have hooked you up with former QU Hawk Riley Martin stuff. Yeah, I had some Riley Martin cards, but I have like they're all like serial numbered stuff, and I just need like base cards, and he doesn't have any. He might have some Elite Extra Edition base cards, but otherwise it's just like team stuff. Hola, Red Light. Low Rollers in the house. My dog passed away. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Lost 3 dogs in the last 5 years since they were getting old. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Gem City says, I don't want to know what Bo's aura smelled like at that card booth. Ooh, the aura. Sir, this is an Arby's drive-thru. LRS, sorry for your loss. Maybe can make it on to some cardboard cards and live forever in a way. There you go. No mail today. Thank you for that reminder. I probably would have, if Mark wouldn't have mentioned that, I probably would have ended up going to the post office before realizing, oh shit, it's a holiday. Donnie's in the house. What's going on? Gem City says, I love that idea. Free autos and kids packs is wonderful. Donnie says, I did the Pittsfield and Springfield card shows this weekend. Very cool. Gem City says, hope they went well. I heard Pittsfield was good. Chewy says, sorry for your loss, Low Roller. Named my business after my dog who passed away last year. Oh, wow. Chewy looks like a good boy. Cooter says, how do you morally reconcile fleecing your fellow Cubs fans with peak CubsCon pricing? Hey, I paid peak CubsCon pricing on the stuff I bought too. So it's a two-way street. Gem City says, dogs are better than humans, and I like all these humans here. Yes, even you, Mike Smith. Orlando, what's going on? Bliss Trading Cards, good morning. Go Cubs, go. Gem City says, you would think Topps Fanatics would want to discuss how you 10x the hobby at CubsCon. Seemed like it would be a good lesson for them, right? I did tag Topps. I did tag Topps in my tweet. Gem City says, good morning to Orlando. Orlando says, such a good thing, Bo, giving free cards to kids. I knew it would go well. I didn't know it would go over as well as it did. Dat Dude from Duryea, live stream from Wrigley is on the horizon. Bliss says, wow, I love this so much. Lifelong Cubs fan. This sounds like a total dream situation. It is. It doesn't seem real. It just doesn't seem real. Thank you. I appreciate it. There's life in Bo's eyes. Your voice was odd on the streams. Yeah, so I used a microphone. And I bought new microphones, new camera, all for almost not. We got through it though. One of the suggestions that eBay gave me was use your phone. It's like, oh my God. I'm in a convention with I'm in the bowels of a hotel convention center with 10,000 people, and you want me to use my phone, audio and video. Like video would have been okay, but the internet wouldn't have been. The audio would have sucked. Like, I don't think that's going to work. Donnie says, I did sell my Pete Crow Armstrong rookie auto this weekend. Ooh, nice. That's something like I should have had more higher end PCA stuff. Because I sold my I had a Leaf auto that I sold almost immediately. And that was the only PCA auto I had. And I was a little hesitant to buy because his stuff's high priced, but even higher at CubsCon. So that's something I'll be looking for stuff for the next year just to prepare. What's cool is I can buy Cubs stuff now and have them like be a part of my collection for a year, and then I bought these for Cubs convention, and then sell them. I like it. Andy, what's going on? Good morning. I'm bringing my son and daughter to the show this weekend. We've got a hotel room for Friday night. They're very excited. Oh, awesome. Awesome. You will love it. Jody says, I watched Saturday and your sound was off. Yeah, the microphone I was using, I don't know. What did it sound like? Did it sound like I was in a convention center with 10,000 people or yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about which with my radio background I probably should, but I don't know. Cody, good morning. Did you take any balls down with you? You need a live stream from the Madison Card Show. I'm not live streaming from the Madison Card Show. I'm not live streaming from anywhere. Well, I will from the hotel at Cubs or at spring training, but that's about it. No, so guess how many autographs? So usually when I go to Cubs convention, I get around 50 autographs each year. I got 0 autographs. 0 autographs. I could have got quite a few. Ben Zobrist signed a couple times in the booth, not right next, but 2 booths down. Kane Kepley and Johnny Long signed right next to me. Let's see. Ethan Roberts was in my booth. Of course, I've got plenty of Ethan Roberts autographs. Luke Little, got plenty of his. His parents were at my booth. Gavin Hollowell was signing across. Riley Martin was signing across the way at Iowa. For some reason, the Smokies didn't have anybody signing at their booth. South Bend, Myrtle Beach, and Iowa all had signers, minor league signers. Andy says, "Wow, Bills fired their head coach. Really? That's surprising." Jim said, he says, "Good for him. Maybe Miami is a better climate to coach in, and he can get that gig." Mark says he's going to the game tonight. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think he had tickets. I don't think he had tickets yet on Saturday. Joe Caprino, what's going on? Good to see you this weekend. Glad it was a good weekend. Absolutely. Great catching up. That dude says Big Z. How did you start and what gave you the idea? Boogie Down, what's going on? For my Cubs collection, let's see. I started collecting Cubs when I was like a kid, but I didn't start the project until December of 2017. I was buying collections, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, ended up with over 1 million cards initially. And a lot of them are junk. It's like, what am I going to do with these junk cards? Like, it's hard to sell junk. But I had done like team trades back in the 90s, early 2000s, back of the Beckett or Sports Collectors Digest classified section, trading card for card for whatever. So I did some of that. And I bet now it's even easier with social media. So I was doing some trades. It's like, damn, it's going to take forever to get to 1 million, but actually went pretty fast. And so that's kind of how it all started. It's like, because when I was buying collections, I would pull, even if it's Rolando Rooms from $89. Like, I put all the Cubs aside, all the rest just goes in. Here's a bunch of junk. So it's like, well, I set these aside. Let's just trade. I don't care if I have a bunch of Rolando Rooms cards, but I don't want these Cardinals cards or Yankees cards. Let's trade them. Merle, good morning. Happy Martin Luther King Day observed. Lots of basketball on today. Yes, King Day is a big basketball day, especially in high school. We always had like King shootouts. Galesburg hosted a big one. So a lot of basketball. Good basketball day. Red Light says, I got you a new couch coming soon. It will have your 1 million Cubs. Oh, very cool. Thank you. Dairyland Picker. How many autographs did you give out? I think I did sign 3 or 4. I did sign 3 or 4 autographs this weekend. All right. So Cubs convention, big success. We'll run it back next year for sure. Hopefully they'll let me. My booth neighbors were awesome. There's only like maybe 10 booths in Vendor Alley. And what's great is all of the autograph lines, which are just insanely packed. you have to walk right through vendor alley after you get an autograph. It's like a gift shop at the end of a tour. It's perfect. So I had so my row, it was the South Bend Cubs, champion forward soccer team. That's where Zobrist was signing. Myrtle Beach Pelicans, me, Heart Crowd, which is Erin, and her husband Kenny was helping. She was Theo Epstein's personal photographer at the World Series parade. And so she was on the float with Theo taking shots of the crowd. And so she's now selling prints of that for the 10-year reunion, 10-year anniversary. It just absolutely stunning photos. They were awesome. And we both said if we do this next year, we want to be, next to each other. They were great neighbors. And then Pat Hughes was on the other side. So Murderers Row. And then on the other side, it was the Iowa Cubs, So Legit Customs, which they weren't even there. Like, they were there half the day Saturday, and that's it. They weren't there Friday. They weren't there Sunday. It's like empty booth. Next to them was the Knoxville Smokies. And next to the Knoxville Smokies was like a memorabilia dealer. And I think the memorabilia guy did have a few cards. He had like some binders of player cards. So that was it. That was Vendor Alley. And of course, Obvious Shirt, Joe from Obvious Shirts. Got to hang out with him for a little bit. He bought a couple Ernie Banks cards from me. If anybody has, he's a big Jeter collector. If anybody has any like rarer Derek Jeter stuff, like a low serial numbered autos, let me know. Because I'm going to be on the lookout for stuff for him, for his Jeter collection. So yeah, it was a good time. I didn't buy anything. I got 0 autographs. I bought some Cubs cards that came to my booth. Didn't buy any merch. Didn't buy any game used stuff. So that was a change. But I spent plenty on parking, my booth, microphone that didn't work that great, camera that didn't work that great. But we had a great time. I had a lot of fun. Again, I can't thank Justin enough. I can't thank Bronco enough. They were tremendous, and hopefully by the way, Bronco printed a shirt. I've got a shirt that says 1 million on the back. So thank you to Bronco for that. So they were awesome. Really had a lot of fun, and hope to do it again next year. Now we got Madison Card Show this week. Again, we'll do Madison Card Show February 21st at the Alliant Energy Center, and then we're on a run at the hotel for 4 months. And we got spring training coming up. God, spring training's less than 2 months away. I've got to get stuff ready for spring training now for autographs. So, and I'm gonna do plenty of stream. I need to make sure I get a good internet connection at the hotel. I need to look into that. I need to book my shit. I should probably do that this week too. Orlando says, at least you had fun. Had a freaking blast. It was so fun. It was so much fun. It was awesome. All right, we're an hour in. I'm going to go make some mushroom coffee. I haven't had mushroom coffee. Didn't drink that much coffee this weekend either. I had a cup of hotel room coffee on Friday. Justin did bring me Starbucks on Saturday morning. And then I had a cup of hotel coffee yesterday. So I am jonesing for some mushroom coffee. I'm going to go make some coffee. I will be on eBay Live tonight. I'm going to start at 7 tonight, 7 p.m. Central. I've got a lot of football stuff. Maybe we'll run some Puka, Matthew Stafford. I've got plenty of football. I've got some baseball, basketball. I got a ton of slabs because I bought a bunch. Where did I buy? I bought slabs at Bonsai. I got the stuff from Dub Mentality. I bought some stuff from Jackson did buying for me at the Waukesha show last week. So I picked up a bunch of stuff from him on Tuesday of last week. So I've got plenty of inventory leading up to the Madison Card Show. So I'll probably do shows. I'll probably go Monday night through Thursday night this week, take Friday and Saturday off, and then Sunday night, I've already got it scheduled. That'll be pickups from the Madison Card Show, what I buy. So I think I've got plenty of stuff to take me through this week. and then we'll take that break for the show, and then I'll have new inventory for Sunday night. All right, I'm going to go make some coffee. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you tonight on eBay Live.